The Olympus 12 Digimon have power comparable to that of royal knights, but they are a mysterious group whose secrets have not yet been fully revealed. They are shadowy beings who protect each other's territories while maintaining a neutral position when it comes to incidents that occur in the digital world. They are Jupitermon, Junomon, Neptunemon, Ceresmon, Apollomon, Dianamon, Marsmon, Minervamon, Vulcanusmon, Venusmon, Mercurymon, and Bacchusmon. Let's see what we know about these mysterious Digimon. They are 12 gods of Olympus, entrusted with protection of the digital world Iliad. They are based on the 12 Roman equivalents of ancient Greek Olympian gods. The 12 deities, worshipped as the principal gods of the Greek pantheon, were named because of their residency atop Mount Olympus. They are Zeus, Hera, Poseidon, Demeter, Apollo, Artemis, Ares, Athena, Hephaestus, Aphrodite, Hermes, and Dionysus. Their Roman equivalents that served as inspiration for the Olympus 12 Digimon are Jupiter, Juno, Neptune, Ceres, Apollo, Diana, Mars, Minerva, Vulcan, Venus, Mercury, and Bacchus. The Olympus 12 Digimon reside in Iliad, one of the digital worlds, under the control of the host computer Hongo. He reigns as the highest level of security and recognizes the magnificent power of the Olympus 12. He has survived several wars in the past and protected this world. The name of this digital world is based on Iliad, one of the oldest works of literature that is still read today. Its author is Homer, a famous ancient Greek poet, also known as the author of the Odyssey. Jupitermon is a Digimon that rules over the sky, thunder, and weather. On the battlefield, he always judges what is right and wrong, and inflicts divine punishment on those who do wrong. His decisions are made calmly and without emotion at all. It is said that those who are dissatisfied with Jupitermon's judgment will challenge him. If they win, the judgment will be reversed, but so far no one has been able to overturn it. Jupitermon has the vaccine attribute and belongs to the Wind Guardian's field. Jupitermon is based on Jupiter, the Roman god of thunder and sky, whose Greek equivalent is Zeus. He is the king of all gods and the chief deity before the dominance of Christianity. His brothers are Neptune and Pluto. When exchanging blows with opponents, Jupitermon can summon small thunderclouds. These thunderclouds make up a formation called Mabolt, which automatically drops lightning bolts on those judged to be evil and those who interfere with Jupitermon's arbitration. Mabolt is based on Zeus's Master Bolt, also known as Caranus, his symbol of power, which all other thunderbolts are based on. It is the first and the most powerful weapon that the Elder Cyclopes made for the Olympian gods. The Master Bolt is powerful enough to kill another immortal being like a god. In his Punish Judge attack, Jupitermon hits his opponent with a hammer and engraves a seal on their body, pardoning their punishments. When he decides to execute the punishment, he strikes the opponent with a large electric current of lightning. Jupitermon's greatest special attack is White Plasmant, which turns his body into ultra-high pressure plasma. It inflicts divine punishment all around Jupitermon, and everyone touched by it is vaporized. Jupitermon Wrath Mode is born when Jupitermon, who normally judges without emotion, confronts someone who has committed a crime so great that he cannot control his anger, which changes him completely. Jupitermon Wrath Mode summons the great divine sword Caranus with his roar, and his body grows tens of times larger and gets clad in armor and lightning. The violent lightning that surrounds him is the expression of his anger. While he appears calm, his every movement overflows with intimidation, and the pressure drives his opponents into a corner. His special attacks are Caranus Divide, in which he swings Caranus with both hands and slashes even distant enemies, and Lightning B, in which he shoots lightning at the point where he points his finger. In his Dios Thunder attack, he causes Caranus to fall from the sky in order to pass the final judgment on the fallen sinners. If Caranus hits them, that proves their guilt, and if it misses, it means they have been falsely accused. The very contact with Caranus erases the Digimon along with their data, so the sinners are judged and punished at the same time by this technique. Junomon is Jupitermon's partner. She stands on the battlefield as someone who loves and protects Jupitermon, and predicts, searches for, and eliminates rebels who go against Jupitermon's will. Perhaps because she has a compassionate personality and deeply loves Jupitermon, she knows all of his habits. Junomon is based on Juno, the queen of gods in Roman mythology and the goddess of love and marriage. She was the sister and wife of Jupiter. Her Greek equivalent is Hera. Junomon has the virus attribute and belongs to the Nightmare Soldier's field. Her special attacks are Needle Hive, in which she stabs the enemy with the Katars equipped on her arms, and Grace Lance, in which she automatically attacks surrounding enemies with a sentient lance. Katar is a type of push dagger, whose handle is made of several parallel bars connected by 2 or more cross pieces. She also has a partner technique that increases Jupitermon's power with Love Basket, which summons thunderclouds. Junomon Hysteric Mode appears when the evil personality sleeping deep within Junomon's heart awakens. The forces opposing her beloved Jupitermon are endless, and when they separate her from him, she becomes consumed by the darkness of jealousy. The vitality in her face gradually disappears, and when she becomes entirely consumed by darkness, she manifests a mask of another face. The mask makes her see all surrounding Digimon as enemies, so she does everything in her power to kill them all. However, this appearance is not detected by Jupitermon, and she doesn't get judged by him as good or evil. Her special attacks are Welcome Lost, in which she continually pierces the enemy with the lances in both arms, killing their life force, and Ling Grudge, in which she crushes captured Digimon with chains that cover her entire body after they utter the words of confession. The Liar Banishment attack makes a hologram of Jupitermon appear and instantly evaporates any enemy that looks at it. Neptunemon is a sea god Digimon who rules over all marine Digimon. The scale mail that covers Neptunemon's body is made of Chrome Digizoid, which has been transformed into a blue Digizoid with excellent mobility and speed, and is capable of moving underwater at frightening speeds. His castle is the Abyss Sanctuary, built in the ultra-deep sea, and only those who can withstand the water pressure of the ultra-deep sea can enter the Abyss Sanctuary. Neptunemon is based on Neptune, the god of the fresh water and the sea in Roman mythology. His Greek equivalent is Poseidon. Neptunemon has the vaccine attribute and belongs to the Deep Saver's field. His special attacks are Vortex Penetrate, in which he launches his sentient spear King's Bite, and Wave of Depth, which causes a gigantic tsunami that swallows everything. His other attacks include Gate of Atlantis and Terrible Bite. Ceresmon is the god of fertility that takes flight with the vast forest of a body. This gigantic monster bird Digimon is carrying Corpus Hule, a forest that bears fruit that are famous for being the best sweets in the digital world. With a body made up of rocks and rich soil, the way Ceresmon flies is exactly like an island floating in the sky. Ceresmon Medium, which is the main body, sits on the head of Ceresmon. While she looks like she is about to burst, it is not with power, as the main body has almost no combat power. It's unlikely you would characterize her as shy just by looking at her, but Ceresmon Medium rarely appears alone in front of people. It is said that she shows herself to those worthy of trust without accompanying a monster bird. Ceresmon's personality is gentle and full of affection, and it is said that he offers the fruit of Corpus Hule to hungry Digimon and hides injured Digimon in the forest until they recover. However, those who forget the blessings of the forest and the earth and unnecessarily damage the trees and pollute the earth will be terrified by the Devil's Forest. Ceresmon has the Data attribute and belongs to the Wind Guardian's field. Ceresmon is based on Ceres, the ancient Roman goddess of fertility and agriculture, the Roman equivalent to Greek goddess Demeter, the guardian of farmers and plebeians. She was considered the ultimate deity among common people of Rome, whose bounty nourished even the humblest of Romans. They called her the Golden Goddess and celebrated her with festivals during the sowing and harvest seasons of the year. Ceres is the only one of Rome's many agricultural deities to be listed among the Deconsentes, Rome's equivalent to the 12 Olympians of the Greek mythology. Ceresmon's special attack is Island Freefall, which hits the opponent with a huge body, inflicting intense blast and vibration damage to the area where it falls. The Burning Blood Shell shoots magma fluid from the mouth as a gigantic flame bullet. Unripe Corpus Hule has a high concentration of poison, and Fruit's Fleshetti transforms the surrounding area into a land of death with shock and poison. Within a few days, the poison turns into fine fertilizer and rejuvenates the land as fertile soil. Another attack is Famis, freely manipulating plants to absorb all the opponent's energy. Famis is a Latin word that means hunger. Ceresmon Medium also has an attack called False, which attacks the enemy with vines, poisoning them and draining their health. Phallus was one of the lustful and drunken gods, demigod of the processional phallus, and the phallic song of the festival of Dionysus. He is called the god of adultery and pederasty. Apollomon is a god-man Digimon who possesses solar-level flame energy. This energy has a terrifying power that can dissolve and purify all substances, and his ruthless zeal and pride are barely restrained. Apollomon is based on Apollo, one of the Olympian gods in Greek and Roman mythology. He is the god of sun and light, but also archery, music, truth and healing, among other things. He is the son of Zeus and Leto, and is the twin brother of Artemis. He is considered to be the most beautiful god. Apollomon has the vaccine attribute and belongs to the Dragon's Roar and Nature Spirits fields. His special attacks are Soul Blaster, which generates and fires a scorching solar ball from the flame ball on his back, and Phoebus Blow, which is a one-hit deadly fist attack filled with his hidden power. Phoebus is another name for Apollo, given to him by his maternal grandmother Phoebe, and means the Bright One, a personification of the sun. He also possesses the Arrow of Apollo, which fires scorching arrows continuously from the light orbs in his hands. Dianamon is a god-man Digimon who rolls over water and ice and is capable of fighting even in absolute zero. Like the two sides of the moon, light and darkness, Dianamon has a personality with two sides, being beautiful yet hiding a terrifying power. She is based on Diana, a Roman and ancient Greek goddess, guardian of the countryside, hunters and the moon. She is equal with another Greek goddess Artemis and her twin brother Apollo. Artemis served as inspiration for one of Dianamon's attacks. Apollo was used as an inspiration for another Olympus 12 god, the previously mentioned Apollomon. Dianamon has the Data attribute and belongs to the Deep Savers and Nature Spirits fields. Her special attacks are Crescent Harkin, which uses the mysterious power of the moon and enchants the enemy with hallucinations that they are their own enemy and they slash themselves to pieces, and Arrow of Artemis, in which she pulls long and sharp ice arrows from the protrusions on the back and fires them at the enemy. Dianamon also has the attack Goodnight Moon, which emits moonlight from the Goodnight Sisters equipped on both legs and allows the opponent to sleep. Marsmon is a god of war Digimon that takes the form of a leopard. He has the vaccine attribute and belongs to the Virus Busters and Nature Spirits fields. Marsmon is familiar with all martial arts from around the world, including dishonest techniques, and has absolute confidence in one-on-one combat in the same weight category. Marsmon is based on Mars, the Roman god of war, whose Greek equivalent is Ares. He is the son of Jupiter and Juno. Marsmon typically uses wrestling-type techniques, but is so obsessed with victory and glory that he doesn't hesitate to use his hidden weapons, such as the Trianacle and Metal Cothurnus, if the situation calls for it. Cothurnus is a thick-soled laced boot worn by actors in Greek and Roman tragedies. Marsmon's true power is revealed only when he uses his bare hands and feet. His special attack is Corona Sanctions, a brilliant aerial attack wrapped in flames. Another attack is Endless Surge. Minervamon is a god-man Digimon who has the appearance of a girl with a very small physique, but possesses the superhuman strength to wield a great sword as tall as she is. She is a female warrior with snake motifs all over her body. Minervamon has an innocent and bright personality like a child, but her emotions are volatile, and when she is in a bad mood, she has a selfish and unrestrained behavior that no one can handle. Minervamon has the Virus attribute and belongs to the Nightmare Soldiers field. Minervamon is based on Minerva, the Roman goddess of wisdom, justice, law and victory. Minerva is also the sponsor of arts, trade and strategy. Her Greek equivalent is Athena. She is one of the three Roman deities of the Capitoline Triad, along with Jupiter and Juno, who served as inspiration for Jupitermon and Junomon. Minerva is often depicted with her sacred owl named the Owl of Minerva, which symbolizes her association with wisdom and knowledge, and less frequently the snake and the olive tree. Minerva is commonly depicted as a tall woman with an athletic and muscular build, wearing armor and carrying a spear. All this inspiration can be seen on Minervamon's design. Minervamon's special attacks are a forward-rolling slash called Strike Roll, unleashed from her large sword Olympia, named after the famous site in Greece, and a blinding side-rotating slash called Madness Merry-Go-Round. Strike Roll splits the earth, and Madness Merry-Go-Round creates a large tornado. Other attacks include Olympia Slash and Dominion Blade. Minervamon has an X antibody form. Parts of her hair became bigger due to the X antibody and gained free will. These hair parts call themselves sages and support Minervamon in battle with their great wisdom. Her already small body is now even smaller than her beloved sword Olympia, and it is possible that her body got smaller because it provided nourishment to her sages. Minervamon X doesn't mind this sacrifice and is innocently happy with her sages, which she named Ulula and Serpens, and sees them as her playmates. Ulula is a genus of hoot owls, and I already mentioned earlier that Minerva, who was the inspiration for Minervamon, was often depicted with a sacred owl. Serpens is a constellation in the northern celestial hemisphere. In Greek mythology, Serpens represents a snake held by the healer Asclepius. Although Minervamon X got smaller compared to her regular form, her superhuman strength was not diminished. On the contrary, even though her Olympia sword is now even bigger than her body and is more uncontrollable, she can run around and swing it with agility. Her special attacks are Haunted Piles, named after the Latin word for hair, in which she freely stretches her hair and unleashes Ulula and Serpens, and Crazy Go Round, which creates a large tornado of blue flames from a powerful side spin slash. Also, the energy cannon Sanctus Tormentum, meaning Sacred Cannon in Latin, fired from the crystal on her shield, boasts the power of a giant battleship's main cannon and is said to blow away even a single mountain with ease. Mervamon is a form of Minervamon who has accumulated experience and achievements over time and has become a very calm and mature personality compared to when she was Minervamon. Mervamon has the virus attribute and belongs to the Nightmare Soldiers and Nature Spirits fields. Her special attacks are Final Strike Roll, when she unleashes a powerful forward-rolling slash with the great sword Olympia Kai. In Night Stalker, she stretches out the medulla on her left arm and swallows the enemy whole after chasing them as far as they go. In the attack Love Poison, she shoots out a poisonous mist from Medulla's mouth, and enemies that inhale the sprayed poison will have their vitality squeezed out by Mervamon's Dazzle. If someone touches the Madness Merry-Go-Round DX, which turns Olympia Kai and Medulla into a tornado with a blinding spinning slash, the enemy is instantly torn to pieces. Vulcanusmon is a data attribute god of smithery. The most famous weapons in the digital world are works of Vulcanusmon, like Beelzebubmon's Berenjena. He has the pride of a craftsman and a stubborn personality. He sees through the client's abilities, and if he feels that the weapon cannot be used properly or will not be cherished, he will not accept the request to forge it. Also, when making a weapon, he will do his job to match the qualities of the client. For example, Vulcanusmon was so charmed by Beelzebubmon's power that he created Berenjena with great care, and even he considers it to be an excellent weapon. Although he is a Digimon that works silently, he also demonstrates his craftsmanship in battle by freely controlling his 8 arms. Vulcanusmon is based on Vulcan, the Roman god of fire, including volcanoes, deserts and metalworks. He is often depicted with a blacksmith's hammer. His Greek counterpart is Hephaestus, the god of fire and smithery. Vulcanusmon's special attacks are Pinpoint Weapon Works, which creates the appropriate weapon on the spot according to the situation by emitting wielding flame called Bomber Art. With the appropriate works attack, Vulcanusmon equips all of his arms with a weapon created with Pinpoint Weapon Works, reaching his full potential. But Vulcanusmon's own fighting skills are not that high, and he prefers working behind the scenes rather than fighting. Venusmon is a Digimon that is full of compassion and rules over love. Where Venusmon exists, even the most barren land will bloom beautifully with flowers, and the earth will revive its youthful vigor. It is said that there are many Digimon who serve the pure and beautiful Venusmon. By wearing a blindfold, Venusmon sees the world correctly with her mind's eye, and no lies or deceptions can get through to her. By hiding her eyes, she suppresses her overflowing charm to prevent swarms of swooning Digimon. Venusmon has the vaccine attribute and belongs to the Virus Busters field. She is always accompanied by a bird called Olive and a scallop called Hotan, small friends who have lively conversations with Venusmon. Venusmon is based on Venus, the Roman goddess of love, sex and fertility. Her Greek equivalent is Aphrodite. In modern world, she is the symbol of sexuality and is often depicted nude. In one of the most famous paintings in history, The Birth of Venus by Botticelli, she is rising from a giant scallop shell, which symbolizes her rebirth. In Roman mythology, Venus is accompanied by lions, doves and sparrows, who sometimes drew her chariot. Also, wherever she walked, she was surrounded by flowers and trees blossoming, and night would turn into day. Because Venusmon is a Digimon who rules over love, she fights in a way that suits the hearts of her opponents with every gesture. With her healing therapy attack, she makes the opponents lose their will to fight just by caressing them on the head. The enemy who receives the blowing kiss of the Love You attack becomes shocked and collapses. With the attack Peace Fantasia, the enemy gets hit in the head by the bird Olive, which turns even the most ferocious personality into a peaceful one. Mercurymon is a Shunjin Digimon who boasts the fastest speed in the digital world. He possesses such excellent speed that it is impossible to see him with naked eye, and it is said that all recorded images of Mercurymon are after images. He hates staying in one place and constantly wanders around the digital world, so it would be difficult to even encounter him. Mercurymon is based on Mercury, the Roman god of finance, commerce and travelers, whose Greek equivalent is Hermes. Mercurymon has the virus attribute and belongs to the nature spirits and wind guardians fields. His special attack is Thousand Fist, in which he approaches the enemy at a speed close to teleportation and unleashes a series of super hits. Mercurymon is also an excellent shaman who can slash through space with his beloved sword Aztec and use spiritual enchant to summon monsters from another world. Bacchusmon is a virus attribute Digimon who claims to be the biggest drinker in the digital world. He has a cheerful personality and is a caring person. He invites child and adult Digimon to his parties that last day and night. Since he can distill all kinds of alcohol within his body, he serves friends at his party with whichever drink they choose. He himself prefers drinking fruit wine, and his favorite is the one made by fermenting sweets that grow in the Corpus Hule forest that Ceresmon carries on his back. Whenever he gets some free time, he goes to Ceresmon to let him brew some fruit wine. These two are very close friends, and they often act together. Bacchusmon is based on Dionysus, a god from Greek mythology, also known by the name Bacchus. He is the god of wine-making, orchards and fruit, but also festivity, insanity and ecstasy. The name Bacchus was given to him because of a frenzy he is said to induce called Baccheia. Bacchusmon's special attacks are Cook of the Hell, in which he wraps his arms around the opponent and converts their data configuration info into a knob of alcohol and consumes them, and Party of the Heaven, in which he uses alcohol mixed with a deadly poison that induces sleep and paralysis. This liquid is refined within his body and showered over the opponent, rendering them incapacitated. When Bacchusmon gets too drunk and the pattern on his body changes to blue, he uses the attack Reverse of the Dead. In this attack, he releases previously consumed data from the large mouth on his abdomen all over the opponent in a beam of destruction. Each time this attack hits the opponent, it takes in more data and increases in strength, so his power in battles against large numbers of enemies is unfathomable. The data on the poison refined by Bacchusmon is the subject of research by the crack team, and there are rumors that Bacchusmon's poison data may be secretly used to create bacterial weapons as part of an assassination plan of an important person. GraceNovamon is a mythical vaccine attribute galactic Digimon that is said to have been born from the fusion of Apollomon and Dianamon when an unprecedented crisis struck the digital world Iliad. By colliding the contradictory forces of the sun's and moon's energies, he builds a Big Bang level energy within his body. From this it is said that GraceNovamon himself is an independent galaxy whose total amount of data cannot be accurately measured. The special attacks are collecting the energy amplified within his body into his palm and melting the enemy by touching them, called Eclipse Finger, and firing the 8 blades Meleagros mounted on the back to pursue the enemy until they are destroyed, called Calydon Arcus. Calydon is an ancient Greek city known for the Caledonian boar that had to be overcome by heroes of the Olympian age. Meleager in Greek mythology is the leader of the Caledonian boar hunt. Titamon is a virus-type Titan of Revenge, born from the grudges of Digimon who lost to the Olympus 12 in the battle over the control of the digital world. Having the nickname One-Man Division, he runs through the battlefield in search of the heads of the Olympus 12 with an endless amount of resentment energy in his mighty body. The large arms are covered with a large number of skulls, which contain the power of defeated enemies. His giant beheading god sword is a bone sword carved from the bones of Skull Greymon, and the hatred filling the sword makes a low growl. Titamon's name is based on the Titans, deities in Greek mythology that preceded the Olympian gods. The special Soul Core attack is sliding with the blade through the enemy's armor and body, reaching the Digicore and slashing it. If the opponent takes the attack head-on, they won't be able to recover. The attack Traceless Phantom Blade pierces the enemy, making them fall into a hallucination that they are constantly being pierced, even when Titamon pulls out the sword. This means their suffering does not end until their spirit dies. The attack Dark Army Pack summons ghost soldiers based on the skulls on both arms and overruns the enemy as an immortal army. This is the reason why Titamon is called a one-man division, and the reason why he is treated like a legion is because he can summon a large army instantly. Which of the 12 Olympus Digimon is your favorite? Tell me in the comments below. If you want to support me, you can do so on Patreon or the Buy Me Coffee website. The links are in the description below. Thank you for watching, stay tuned for more Digimon videos. P.S. Make sure to follow my community page on YouTube, as I also post updates about upcoming videos there.